Well, for the passengers just boarded us, welcome on board the Mercuria for our journey upriver to Westminster. We do have to point out the safety announcement as we are just leaving the pier, not to alarm you at all, just to familiarise you with the vessel that you are travelling on. Just to let you know, the life jackets on the top deck, they are situated at the front of the boat in the silver lockers, clearly marked in green and white international signs. Also in the lower saloon beneath the seats. Life rafts are situated at the back of the boat. They can be launched by a crew member or also float freely. Emergency exits in the saloon are the windows and doors. They slide to open. On the open top deck, the emergency exits are anywhere you like. Apart from that, just sit back and enjoy your journey as we make our way up through the city
on
of
uploading
London.
on
There are
YouTube.
some points and places of interest for the two centre spans of the bridge, both weigh in the region of 1,100 tonnes. They can be raised into the upright position in just under 90 seconds. Failed to open once and once only. That was on the opening ceremony when a ship hit the bridge. When the centre spans are raised, the public can still cross the bridge via the two centre catwalks at the top. Many years ago, this used to be known as Suicide's Leap. Everyone kept going up to the top and jumping into the river. They closed it, they've now glazed it in, and it has been reopened to the public. It's called the Tower Bridge Experience. Nowadays, if you did want to jump off the bridge, it would cost you about £6.20. They do take all major credit cards. Once through the bridge, if you look to the right-hand side, behind the trees, we have the world-famous Tower of London. The centre parts are the oldest parts, and that is where you will see 4 towers and a flagpole, known as the Norman's Keep or the White Tower. It dates back to 1078. There's been many things in its time, including a royal mint, a royal zoo, a royal observatory, a royal fortress, and a place of execution. Look to the embankment wall in front of the tower. You can see the bricked up archway with a writing above it, entry to the Traitors' Gate. If you was found guilty of treason in the Palace of Westminster, you would have been rowed down river by barge, taken through the gateway, around the moat to Tower Hill, where your head would have been chopped off.
Nice.
That was known as London's first one-way street. Now in front of us on the left-hand side, we have the C-35 HMS Belfast. The Belfast has 12 guns, 6 at forward and 6 at aft. They are capable of firing a 102-pound shell 14 land miles. If the Belfast was to fire her guns in anger, she could hit targets in places such as Kew, Croydon and Dartford, 14 miles away. Now the Belfast has over 7
look at
different
me.
decks to
Fatima.
explore, right away from the engine room up to the navigational bridge. If you look over to your right hand side behind the trees, the large white building with the 6 black chimneys on top is Customs House. If you're caught bringing too much duty free into the country, cigarettes, alcohol, it's all confiscated and stored in the basement of that building, where it is then said to be burnt. Now I've worked out here for 23 years and I've never seen a puff of smoke coming from those chimneys. I've been told they do have the best Christmas parties anywhere in London. Also on our right hand side, the yellow brick building, that is the old Billingsgate Fish Market. There was a fish market stood on this site for over 900 years. It's now moved further downstream to larger premises on the Isle of Dogs. Now the next bridge in front of us will be the famous London Bridge. It is the 4th London Bridge to stand on this site since Roman times. This one was opened up in 1973 by Her Majesty the Queen. The one before this now stands in the Arizona desert across a man-made lake called Lake Havasu, sold off to America for 1.5 million. As we go beneath London Bridge, if you look to the left-hand side, look between the first two buildings on your left, you're going to see the old Southwark Cathedral. This dates back to the 12th century. Baptised inside the cathedral, a man called John Harvard. He then went on to America, founded the Harvard Library, which in turn became a part of the Harvard University. The next bridge in front of us, Cannon Street Railway Bridge. As we pass beneath this bridge, if you take a look to the support columns of the bridge in the waterline, you'll see how fast the tide actually flows. Now the tide has been flooding into London for about the last hour or so, so it's not at its strongest. When it is at its strongest, it runs between 3 to 5 knots. It is a very dangerous river. Now the next bridge in front of us, the Southwark Road Bridge, is the least used bridge to span the River Thames, and that's because the approach roads are so well hidden into the back streets, the one-way systems of London. Not many Londoners actually know that the bridge exists. Built in 1921 to relieve congestion off of the old London Bridge. And just coming up on the left-hand side, you'll see a white circular building. It's got oak beams and a thatched roof. It is the New Globe Theatre, a replica of Shakespeare's Old Globe, opened up by Her Majesty the Queen with a seating of 1,600 people. Also on the left-hand side, the brown brick building with the chimney, the old Bankside Power Station, been converted into Tate Modern Art Gallery. They show contemporary art and also modern arts. Now, ladies and gents, if you want to see a real piece of art, look very quickly on the right-hand side. Look where this bridge goes between the two buildings. You're going to get a quick glimpse of Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece, St Paul's Cathedral. It does stand at 365 feet tall, that being 1 foot for each day of the year. It has the second largest unsupported cathedral dome in Europe. Took 35 years to build. The red brick building to our right, the new City of London School for Boys. A very famous person actually attended that school, Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter. He went there at Hogwarts, obviously. Now the next bridge in front of us is the Blackfriars Railway Bridge. Now a few years back now, they actually built a new railway station. It now runs the whole length of the bridge. You can enter and exit the station from either side of the river. It's called Blackfriars North and South. As we pass through the bridge, if you take a look either side of the boat, you're going to see 8 red support columns. These are what remains from the old St Paul's Railway Bridge. Now it couldn't take the weight of the modern day trains, so they took the top piece of the bridge away. They left the support columns in place, fear of undermining the foundations of the other 2 bridges. The last bridge in a group of 3 is Blackfriars Road Bridge. Now if you look on the right hand side, you'll see a white building with a green sloping roof and a black pinnacle on top. The old City of London School for Boys. Lord Asquith, he used to go to this school before moving on to higher education. But keep looking on our right. See, there's a red and white building. It's got green glass on the roof. Look above the green glass. Can you see that small statue? There's a man standing on one leg with one arm up in the air. Now that statue is Mercury, the wind-tipped messenger. That stands on a building in a place called Fleet Street. It's where the newspaper industry started off. That was the logo for the independent newspaper. Now, if you look just in front of us on the right hand side, up on the embankment wall to our right, you're going to see an old red telephone box. Now you don't see many of these nowadays in London. There's only a few of these left. That one there to our right is soon going to be converted into a 2-bedroom apartment with riverside views. But keep looking to our right. On the embankment wall there's a stone archway. Above the archway, the face of Father Thames looking down on his river. Now it's called Temple Arch, and it is a boundary line between two cities. The city of Westminster, we're just about to enter. The city of London, we are just leaving behind us. The white ship, the Wellington, she saw action during the Second World War. She was running supplies across the Atlantic disguised as an hospital ship. Now in front of us on our right, behind the trees, you'll see a large white building with a small green dome in the centre. It's called Somerset House. It's where we used to hold all births, marriages and death certificates. It used to be known as Atcham, Matcham and Dispatcham. Now during the winter months, December and January, they actually flood the courtyard of that building and they turn it into an ice rink. So every year, every December and January, they flood the courtyard and turn it into an ice rink. Now the bridge we're about to go beneath, Waterloo Road Bridge, more affectionately known as the Ladies Bridge. When the bridge was built, it was built by 80% female labour due to the fact that men was away in the armed forces. Now it was the only bridge to be built on time and under budget. So as you can see, the ladies of London, they've done a fantastic job of building this bridge. Now just coming up on our right hand side, on the embankment wall, you're going to see a stone obelisk, the Cleopatra's Needle, given to us by an Egyptian for Nelson's victory over Napoleon at the Battle of the Nile. They do say there is a twin to that needle, and that stands in Central Park, New York. If you look over to your left hand side, you'll see the Royal Festival Hall, built in 1951 for the Festival of Great Britain. A completely soundproof building for the terrible noises of the trains which run directly alongside. So the next bridge in front of us, Charing Cross Railway Bridge. It's the only place on the River Thames that you'll pass between two railway systems. Not only will we be passing beneath the Charing Cross Railway, we are also passing over the top of the London Underground system at the same time. Beneath the river at this point we have the Bakerloo and the Northern lines from the London Underground system. Once through the bridge, if you look over to our left hand side, you can't miss the London Eye Millennium Wheel, the third largest observation wheel anywhere in the world. It's capable of carrying 850 people. It takes 30 minutes to do one round turn. Now you can also get married on the London Eye. You meet the priest or the vicar at the bottom. You carry out the ceremonies, you make your way to the top. Once you reach the top, you are pronounced husband and wife. And then after that, it's all pretty much downhill. Also to the left-hand side, just past the London Eye, the large impressive building with a green spire. That's the old County Hall, the old GLC, Greater London Council. That was abolished by Margaret Thatcher. Now directly in front of us we have Westminster Road Bridge. If you look above the bridge on the right hand side, surrounded by scaffolding at the moment, you'll see the St Stephen's clock and the Elizabeth Tower. Now many people actually think that this is called Big Ben. Big Ben is just the name of the 13-ton bell which strikes on the hour inside the clock tower. It was named after Sir Benjamin Hall. He was the Commissioner of Works. Now ladies and gents, we're just turning the boat round now. Very shortly we are going to make our next stop, just here at Westminster Pier. Information of returning boats back downstream to St Catherine's and Greenwich. Once we reach the pier, we are going to be your next returning boat within the service today, but we don't actually leave here now until 2:20, which is just over 35 minutes time. So we are your next returning boat, but we do not